Hornets taking on the Bucks. So I'm going to set off a disclaimer, all right? You be the judge. Giannis Antetokounmpo only played 22 minutes and scored 9 points in this basketball game. So you tell me what you think. Is this a Milwaukee Bucks blowout or did they get blown out? It's one of the two. If Giannis only played 22 minutes, it's one of the two. All right, back to the highlight. You saw LaMelo Ball drill the three. He had 6 threes in the first half. There's scary hours appearing in the first quarter. Terry Rozier. And then off the Rozier miss, it's Plumlee there for the board. Hornets are already up 21 points, and we're still in the first. More good Charlotte ball. 17 points in quarter number 1 for Terry. The Hornets are going to tie an NBA record for first quarter points as McDaniels goes and gets him a deuce. They scored 51 in the opening frame. The score is 60-37 in the second. LaMelo Ball had 24 points. There's 3 of them. Ball has led the Hornets in assists the last 10 games. You see his impact. He's starting to find his rhythm as Terry Rozier knocks down another 3. LaMelo from pretty much the same spot. It's 82-56. An onslaught of Milwaukee. Rozier inside the Plumlee. It's a 23-point game. Rozier just tearing apart that Bucks defense. He had himself a game. It was scary hours pretty much every quarter in this one as Terry Rozier goes for a season high 39 points. The Hornets embarrassed Milwaukee in their own building by 29. Where there are rumors swirling from multiple respected reporters that at some point before the trade deadline, the Milwaukee Bucks will acquire Jay Crowder. For those who don't know, Jay Crowder has sat out this entire season with the Phoenix Suns. He's been holding out. To make a long story less long, Jay Crowder ain't want to come out of that starting lineup in Phoenix. Suns went in the direction of Cam Johnson, who ironically got hurt, which means Jay Crowder would have likely have started most of the games that he's been complaining about anyway, since Cam's been down most of the year. But nevertheless, the Suns and Bucks have been unable to complete a 2-team trade. So reportedly, the Bucks have been kind of monitoring the Jay Crowder situation closely and have been looking for a third team to pull the trigger on a Jay Crowder trade with the Suns. And it looks like right now it's the Rockets. They're going to join forces with the Bucks and Suns. And when it's all said and done, I believe Milwaukee will come away with Jay Crowder, which I personally believe is a huge acquisition. Look, if a star gets traded at the deadline, that star is going to be the story. But in all likelihood, the way the salary cap is structured, the way I'm looking at some of the top teams, how they're kind of cap locked right now, I don't believe, even if a star caliber guy gets traded, I don't believe it's going to be a guy traded from a bad team to a good team. Most of the good teams are already capped out. So a star getting traded at the deadline will be the biggest headlines. It'll get the most retweets for Woj and Shams. It'll get the most views for FERRO. But in all likelihood, the most important acquisition will be one of these role players that goes to a really good team. And I think Jay Crowder joining the Milwaukee Bucks, I do believe Giannis' team needs something. I've been watching the Bucks closely. I usually like using Giannis for my parlays, so I really watch the Bucks closely, not to mention for work. So I've been watching this team over the last month with Chris Middleton just not figuring it out with this season, in and out of the lineup. And I'm thinking to myself, they need something. They could use something coming in. Now, that doesn't mean I think they need a superstar. We'll see what happens with Chris Middleton, as it seems like he just can't figure it out with that knee. They need something. And I think Jay Crowder is definitely a something. Look, Crowder's not going to come in and average you 25 points a game, 20 points a game even. What he will do is come in and play some good defense. I give him a lot of credit for locking up Giannis in the bubble a few years back. Remember, Jay's been one of the most relevant players from a role player standpoint over the last 5 years. Went to the NBA Finals in the bubble with Miami. Next year around, went to the NBA Finals with the Suns. And then obviously we know what happened last year with Jay Crowder and the Phoenix Suns. as they were going down to Luka, who was just sunning Phoenix, Jay was one of the players that actually still played his role effectively, with Chris Paul and Devin Booker not being the best versions of themselves oftentimes in the back part of that series against Dallas in the second round. Jay Crowder is a valuable piece, and now coming full circle, likely about to join Giannis, who's now on a different level than what he was a few years ago when Jay was able to, alongside Bam Adebayo, put the clamps on the Greek Freak in the bubble. Oh, this is a huge move for Milwaukee. Sometimes it doesn't take flipping your whole team around to wake guys up. Sometimes it just takes bringing in one or two respected guys around the league to really give you that energy in the middle of January, in the middle of February, in the middle of March before you make your push. Sometimes all it takes is bringing in a guy like Crowder, who you know is going to play hard, assuming he's been taking care of himself and still motivated. You're talking about a guy that could be put in the lineup, with the Bucks team. They got some guys that can't defend. And let's just call a spade a spade. Pat Connaughton, Grayson Allen, Wesley Matthews. These guys can't play defense like that. And Wesley will try. Let's be clear. Grayson will try. These guys ain't elite defenders in this league. What Jay Crowder can do in any given series is hold Kevin Durant from 38 points to 31 points. And you might say, well, he still went over 31 points. He still got over 30 points. That's a big deal, hold Kevin Durant 7 points less. Jay Crowder is a guy that can hold Jason Tatum back from 35 points a game to 27 points a game. Again, you might say, well, Tatum still got 27. That's a big 8 points that Crowder just stopped Tatum from getting. And he can make any given three on the court late in games, situations where the Bucks oftentimes with Chris Middleton not on the court have struggled. So Jay Crowder to the Bucks is not official, but all signs point to it being a deal that does get done before the trade deadline in February.